Good morning. This is Eric Rollins, the Constitutionalist, here on 1550 KXEX, the best talk in town. I'm really looking forward to this day. I'm looking forward to this show. I'm enthusiastic about this show. I do have one event, though. Actually, I'm going to do two. First one is Saturday night. Students for Life is hosting a gala for life, and it is at the Veterans Memorial Hall. You can find that on Eventbrite. I will also put that in the Facebook comments section. It is from 7 to 10 Saturday night. It is $70. They're going to donate most of the money to an organization that helps people deal with their choices about abortion. This is definitely an anti-abortion group, but they stand for life. I'm impressed with these young students, and I think we need to support them. The other event, the Constitutionalist for California Clovis chapter will be having somebody in to talk about the Constitution December 15th. And, if you just want to learn more about the Constitution, we'd be happy for you to come in and join us. That will be, and so that is the 15th. That is at 508 4th Street in Old Town Clovis at the American Legion Hall. Hope I'll see some of you there. Jumping right in. I've got two guests that I'm looking forward to kind of learning some more. I think we all could stand to learn more about others' cultures. That one of the things that is great about this country, and particularly California, is our diversity. But that doesn't mean that I think that you always have to be a liberal. And there's some things about the Sikh community that are unique, but I'm going to not put words in their mouth. I'm just going to introduce my two guests and see what happens. Who wants to go first?
Hi, my name is Sidhu. I am born and raised here in California. Went to Central High School here in Fresno, and started off in the medical field, working for DaVita Dialysis. Eventually, going on, I had a traumatic injury where I had became non-ambulatory for many years, and which led me to getting into politics and helping out, and finding other ways.
Well, I'm glad you're up and around.
Yeah, definitely, it's a miracle.
Cool. And Nick?
Yeah, thanks for having us here. My name is Nick Sahota. I've been here over 33 years, and was 13 years old when I came here to the United States, and I graduated from Fresno State, 99, and after that I've worked with the engineering firms, and currently I am owning a engineering firms here in little town Selma, and also I'm a former president of the Rotary Clubs and currently director of the Chamber of Commerce in Selma. And also I do involve in farming, and I'm a former RBA Raise and Bargaining Association director, and also I involved in founder of Selma Business Alliance, and I'm currently on the Selma Unified School Board of Trustee. This is my third year starting, and also I involved in the Fresno County's the housing community developments, and went there about 5 years. And thank you for having us again here.
Oh, glad to. So I think it's important that both of you are active in your communities. Does your culture lead you to be active in your communities? Does your religion lead you there? Because there's kind of part of the foundation of your community, right?
Yes, when we look at our core values and what we're taught and how we're brought up, everything aligns with how the whole system is.
So the idea of constitutional government, the idea that you have inalienable rights.
Yes, right to bear arms.
Cool.
That's part of that's in part of our religion. That's why you might see a lot of our people wearing daggers all the time, things like that. It wasn't necessarily that you need to were just a dagger, but at that time and back in those days, that's what they were protecting themselves with. Now people have bigger weapons, better weapons. So, we're educating our people that, they need to still continue to protect themselves at the same level.
So are they warriors or protectors? Or both?
Both. It's selfless protection, so it's to protect yourself and anybody else in need, no matter of religion, race, color, ethnicity.
Okay. Because I've read about a tradition where they would hire Sikhs, other royalty, other rulers in the region would hire Sikhs as protection.
Yes.
Yeah, I would add to that, like Mr. Sidhu said, our religion is not that old. It's 1699, and when one of our gurus baptized the Sikhs, they give us 5Ks, and those 5Ks are important for us to be in right line up with, what we do. We protect the other people. We do meditate God's name. Basically, is they have a 3 principles, right, Sidhu?
Yeah.
And to earn honest earning, and meditate God's name, and share your wealth with the poor people. Those are the 3 principles based on it, and along with the political systems that you wear those swords and so forth to be protect yourself and others. It's kind of like you could say cops and peaceful and well as not happening, building a societies that help each other, basically.
Well, cool. So here's a question you might not be expecting. Because I'm trying to build a bridge, because I think that there's a natural bond between conservatism and your community, what can we do to help you?
We need a shot. We need an introduction with you guys and with the community and with you guys to align with us so we can help our Sikhs realize, that their values are actually very Republican, yet they're being brainwashed into, voting Democrat, for the wrong reasons, and they don't know better.
So they don't believe in socialism?
Yes, they do.
Okay, because one of the tenets of the modern Democratic Party, the progressives, is socialism. Where do you guys stand on socialism?
Well, every peoples have different peoples, but we are.
So you're saying there's a diversity within
within our group, but we need awareness. So that's why we need to join with you guys to make this awareness. What are your core values? We believe in hard working. We believe in helping each other out, and we do not want to be dependent on the socialism that the governments will feed you and so forth on it. And the way that we teach, we taught that we have to be work hard to be earn it.
Yeah.
And one of our principles
work hard and earn it.
And like you said, we need to be making awareness that who would help us or protect that, who would let us to be lead on it. And Sikhs always been known as helping all around the world, and they have big contributions in World War I, World War II, and they fought for justice for the people. And we have long histories, and just like America does, we protect our peoples, and it's we just wanted to be more awareness. That's what we want to be talk about it. What we really do. If you see in our cultures, on our peoples living here, and especially California, let's talk about it. Central Valley, we have over 70,000 peoples that the Sikhs belong to the Sikh religions, and They're all hardworking. They are farmers. They are truckers. They own the stores, and they are doctors, engineers, and you name it. They're very hardworking. You would see probably not that many that depends on the government.
So they've embraced the American dream through hard work.
Yes,
Absolutely.
100%.
So that's a big deal. So they're not just coming in for a handout. They've seen that there's an opportunity and they've seized that opportunity.
Yes, 100%. You'll rarely see anybody.
What would the community do if they saw somebody that was on welfare?
They will reach out themselves and make sure they will help out and
So
but
it's a tight community. You would try to fix it yourself rather than see them on.
relying on the government.
Absolutely, absolutely. Like for example, we see in this last couple of years in the COVID, I'm on one of this the organization called Seva, and it's created in Salma. We feeded over 75,000 people, and through the drive-through, we give them the foods and this and that.
Through COVID and when everything was closed down.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So we are there. We or even our own, like your question was, we helps out, and if you see it, somebody need helps, and we find the jobs. We have a lot of opportunities, and we are there to be help. Anybody needs,
Yeah, all of our temples are always open with hot food at all times, all meals.
So a very welcoming people.
Yes, and any religion, it doesn't matter. It's not only for Sikhs. Anybody can go in there and get a warm meal. Everyone's always welcome.
So then you're not just welcoming, but that would also make it a very tolerant religion, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. We have over 50 temples down in Central Valley, and they have Friday through Sundays the services on of them. And we see, anybody could come there, and they have the meals, and they wouldn't ask you even one questions, and do not want you to be converted into the Sikhism or anything like that.
Yeah, no one's there to convert you, or somebody would have to go themselves and ask, hey, can you educate me on this, or can you give me some information? No one's gonna come to you to try to preach to you, and even and the food's available not even on the days of services, even when there's not services. It's always technically the doors are always open though.
Cool. Now, often people mistake you for other ethnic groups. And I know that there's been some unfortunate events where they thought you were either Arabic or another group of Islamic peoples. Now,
I dealt with a lot of that growing up since I'm born here, going to school here, and trying to follow my parents, my religion, and my culture, keeping my hair, wearing a turban, just the harassment and the racism I've dealt with. Not from any one particular ethnicity, but just in general. It's been a really hard mission.
well, thank you for standing against that, because I'd like to believe that Martin Luther King's dream can happen, but we're an imperfect society.
100%.
Absolutely. Yeah, I will add to that 9/11 after that. Edwin misidentified the Sikhs, and the Sikhs are a different. Sikhs have proud of warriors known as, and the turban is one of their faith that they cover their hair, and they believe in that they have a crown on their head, and they treated everybody equal, and that's what it is basically. It does not making people doesn't know, and I encourage that people needs to talk to them instead of identify the persons by looking at it. And a lot of misunderstanding at the school levels too, the bullying, and being as at the school we have the kids wear the turbans, and kids comes them calling them names, and what they are not aware of it, because we don't have a curriculum that would teach them a little bit more, and we have same values as Americans, and the one I want to share with you that we respect all religions. We do not hate anyone, and that's one of the things that I teach us. And I mean, we believe in Holy Scripture in the Sikhs, and our Holy Scripture basically says that there's one universe and there's one God for everybody, and the God is inside on every person's, and that's what we believe in.
So God is with us and part of us at all times.
Absolutely.
What about free will? So with Christian tradition, and it's divided into two groups, but I'm very much in the free will. You can make your choices, and they may not follow God, or they hopefully do.
Well, one thing that I've learned growing up is always you're open to choose any religion that you want, even if you're born into a Sikh family, but you can't go and jump around, and make a joke of anything. You stick to something, you follow it. If you look at the general basic rules and everything, they're the same. You look at the 10 Commandments and what's in or
So there's similar guidelines. These are basically rules of ethical behavior that will make everybody's life better.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So your religion honors those same traditions.
And then we go to our amendments, right to bear arms. That's actually in our religion. So
so you wrote it in long before 1776.
Yes,
that's cool.
Right. So many other things, unfortunately, I'm not as educated into it as we're all learning, and that's actually what the word Sikh means, is learning. You're always learning. You're learning
Teaching.
For life.
Mm-hmm.
But that's anything that has been happening. It's always I've been learning from the community, and as I've been going out into the community and linking with everybody, and going to all the GOP meetings and helping out in the campaigns and working with everybody, we're learning we're all the same.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And go along with that, the wear arms, and also that we don't believe in a caste system. That was the one of that before the Sikhs religions came over. They had a lot of caste system in India, and
so let's describe that a little bit. That is basically a multi-tiered system where you're either a ruler, and then you'd have another level that's somewhere in the middle, and then you'd have somebody that very much at the bottom. Sounds like almost like communism in a way.
Exactly, you said it. You said well, and that was the Hinduism has that system, and the Sikh religions, they cancel the caste system. We believe in women's and the men's are equal, and we believe in that all the gods are people, and all humans should be treated fairness, and that's the one of the big in our along with that too. And also meditate God's names to be better person, go along with that too. So Christianity and the Sikhs kind of similarity. There's a lot of them.
Well, yes, the hard work, the seeing everybody as a person of equal value.
Absolutely.
Believing that everybody should have equal opportunity, and hopefully having no hate. That's always
yes.
There's a challenge for everybody.
Yes, there's always going to be a little bit on everywhere.
Yeah. So you worked a lot with the GOP. Have you seen that same racism, or are they embracing it?
Oh no, it's been incredible. It's been a whole nother side that I've never seen, to be honest with you. I'm telling you, my whole life I've dealt with nothing but racism and everything, and I'm here, and everybody that I deal with is so welcoming. They're just go-getters.
Cool.
It's everything. There's like, oh yeah, perfect. That's exactly what I was thinking. That's exactly what I was saying.
We're going to go ahead and take a break. This is Eric Rollins, the Constitutionalist, here on 1550 KXCX, the best talk in town. I want to say thank you to everybody that's watching on social media. I hope that this kind of opens your eyes and allows you to see that there's a lot of places where conservatives could make inroads, but you have to get out and you need to talk to people. And here are natural allies that a lot of people didn't even realize existed. Now, if you like what I'm doing, remember, hit that like button, subscribe. If you have comments, I always try to answer comments with the exception of my one person who's a stalker. She's nuts, but everybody else, you know. And that person can remain nameless at this point. We're going to go ahead and come back. This is Eric Rollins, the Constitutionalist, here on 1550 KXEX, the best talk in town. Today I am joined by two members of the Sikh community, Nick Sahota and Sidhu Kuwalt. Sorry about that. And we've kind of been talking about some things that are unique to their community. So we got to Second Amendment. Notice that one came up right away. Interesting that it was written in long before we even thought of doing it. And it was seen as a responsibility to protect yourself and others. That's cool.
Yeah.
Where do you stand on the First Amendment? Obviously, freedom of religion, you're very tolerant, but there's some other aspects.
Yes, freedom of speech.
So what if somebody's saying something that's hateful? What do you do?
Whether it's against us or whether it's against somebody else, we're taught to stand.
So you stand on your principles. Do you believe the person has the right to say something even if it's hateful?
Well, to the certain...
Not putting somebody down, not somebody, but everybody's entitled to their opinion. But if somebody's entitled to their opinion, sometimes they should keep their opinion to themselves. How, for example, they're bringing it into the school system.
Bringing in their opinion.
Yes. They can keep those opinions to themselves. We don't want that influence on our children with their being taught.
Right or left.
Yes.
You go to private school if you want to exert more influence, is my take. So, Nick's on the school board. Do you have anything to say about that? What's happening in Selma?
Well, we do occasionally, people comes there, talk about it, especially in the COVID, and some people want to wear the mask and some people don't. And some people kind of mix with the religions. Hey, we don't, but there is a tolerances, and we got to go with the whole board wanted, and what's the state policies on it. And yeah, definitely we are to the principles. We need to stand on it, and we can't just let it go beyond. And if it's a personal opinion and so forth, we got to keep it separated on it. And but into the schools meeting or any other, and we can't let it go.
And like we were talking about, we're not against anybody that's gay or transgender or anything, but it's just those things shouldn't be brought into the schools. And
okay.
I have a 7-year-old and a 9-year-old. These are not the things that I want taught in the school system right now with them.
So you believe that parents actually have some choices here?
Yeah, 100%.
Because I want to point out that progressives very famously, during a debate which was in Virginia between Youngkin, who ended up being governor, and I believe it was Terry McAuliffe, and he said, those aren't your kids.
Mm-hmm.
Well, as a school board member, whose kids are those? Obviously, you have some responsibility, but the parents still have some say.
Absolutely.
And so that would be kind of where the Sikh community would stand on that. I realize some of them
100%.
are liberal, but they believe that they have the right.
Their values are not. They're straight. But yeah.
Yep, definitely. So yeah, I mean, we gonna have diversity. We live in a Central Valley where we have the multiple faiths and religions, or multiple spoken languages: Spanish, Arabian, Punjabi, and Hindi, and so forth on it.
Mm.
So we got it to be the certain to it, and obviously still gonna be some hatred. There's some still gonna be this, but we just need to be what are the American values? What we need to be stand on it. So I believe in fairness system, and that's what we are, and a majority, and that's what the Democrats.
So equality of opportunity, the same under the eyes of the law, free speech.
Absolutely,
Those would be definitely principles that you'd embrace.
absolutely. Those are the same principles we have, and we don't believe in dictatorships. We believe in what we want, but there's a certain laws that our government created. We not agreed on it, and but we gotta live with it.
If they're actually laws. What happened during COVID, a lot of those were mandates, which are very different than laws. And so some school districts chose to approach things differently. I know you have the privilege, just like I have the privilege of living in Clovis. Clovis took a very different path.
Yes, we're very blessed with that. Got lucky.
No, it was on purpose. I moved to Clovis on purpose. I lived in Fresno before. It wasn't luck in my case.
I got lucky. But if anywhere else, the kids, they got a major setback.
Mm-hmm.
Major setback, and who's going to make up for that? How are they going to make up for that? Have they thought about these situations? Has the governor thought about this situation?
We're not even out of a state of emergency.
Exactly.
The governor still has emergency powers, and he believes that this is a freedom state. And all I can do is shake my head and think, oh man. What does the Sikh community generally think of Newsom?
We're all businessmen. Trucking industry, diesel, is through the roof. The trucking industry is falling. The medical system has gone to trash. So the doctors are suffering. It's in every way we're hurting.
Absolutely, and I would add to that. Look at it, the crimes, and the crimes. What the Newsoms wanted is that if you are less than $1,000, it's not a felony, and people could go in it. There was an incident in Fresno, and they could steal anything, and they want to arrest him, and they just give him little tickets and let him go.
There's been times where we've actually had crime sprees against Indian people on West Fresno side, where they will target you seeing, that you're wearing gold jewelry or this, that, and they were breaking into these houses. They were only targeting the jewelry.
Absolutely, and
one after another.
Absolutely, and the crime is the one, and the immigration, he hasn't done anything, and we still have problems, and especially the farmers. As being as a farmer on second job, the water is a big issue. Water crisis.
Absolutely. And I don't see Newsom as doing anything positive on any of those fronts.
No,
definitely.
No, definitely.
At the beginning of COVID, he said, here's our opportunity. He publicly stated this, to have a more, how did he put it? More progressive type of capitalism.
Mm.
And then he embraced every bit of power he could get. And yet we keep re-electing this jerk.
I don't know when our people are going to wake up. I mean, there's bad people in every country, every part of the world.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just a Pacific part. Whether even people from India are using that same border to come across. That shouldn't be coming. There are avenues that they can be taking.
So you believe that people should come across the border the right way?
Yeah,
absolutely.
There's a process. You do the process, and you come. Certainly.
You work here. We need farm workers, and they come here. They work, and they support their family back. I got nothing wrong with that. But there's got to be a system placed on it.
Well, pretty much every country in the world, and there's about 300 countries, control their borders in almost all cases.
Yeah.
And we have decided that we no longer control our borders. That's insane to me.
Yes, it doesn't make any sense at all. It's
Well,
Definitely.
who knows who's coming across?
Look at the Mexico has a problem with the cartel.
Yeah,
You
well,
know?
the cartels that largely control the border, not the Mexican government,
Yes.
the cartels.
Yeah. And how
Criminal organizations control the southern side of our border.
and it doesn't matter what country you're coming from, they're going through the cartels.
As long as they pay off the cartels, they get through.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens to their women and children along the way?
Only tragic stories is what I'm hearing.
Exactly.
True-
And
truly-
from our end as well. Back in India, when we hear same thing, just it's horror stories.
Absolutely. I mean, I believe in the immigration system. It's already placed, and maybe should create it such way that people could come in and work and go instead of having, we got so much immigration problem. We have legal peoples here, the criminal peoples, and they should be sent back. And we needed systems that build in, but I want to say about the water, being as a farmer. And I don't know if your audience is that much is aware of that water issue is a major for the farmer.
Right.
And the Punjabis, especially the Sikhs, they came here back in 1900s. They work on the railroads, they work in the farming industry, and they help this economy. And we have over $70 billion in market here, and because of the Newsoms put them into the trouble. And we don't have water. And we have 4 dams when destroying this year. And instead of having that water system already placed back in, 90 years ago, 50 years ago, and we never keep it up on it.
Right, the population grew, but we didn't keep up with infrastructure,
Absolutely.
and we haven't built any new dams. And there are 2 proposed and paid for: Sykes Reservoir, and the other one would be Temperance Flats.
Absolutely. And look at that. You go on Highway 5, all the farming in the west side, no one doing a farming, and people's Mendotas and those areas, and people's moving out. The cotton fields now in farming.
Well, those areas, a lot of them are what they call white area.
That's right.
The white area is where there is the only way you get water is if it falls out of the sky or if you pump it out of the ground. We've reached a point where they're not recharging those aquifers, and they're trying to stop all pumping out of the ground. The problem is, this is one of the breadbaskets of the world.
Yeah.
We feed the world.
We were the backbone. And now that this SIGMA, the Sustainable Groundwater Management Act, that 2014, created by that was all environmentalist. They didn't take any farmers in it, and they just passed that laws on it. And who's $7.5 billion infrastructure? Why does the farmer has to pay for it? And there's no way, and they don't let us get the water from Sacramento River because of the fish issues and so forth. And farmers are gonna go 1 million acres out of next year, and they want a big corporate to come over and take over farming. And I don't see that how the California would survive with this kind of decisions, that if our state and the feds not act on it ASAP.
Yes. And we're sitting in one of the 3 most productive farm counties in California. It's Kings, Tulare, and us.
Yeah.
Yeah. We are the number 1, 2, and 3, and sometimes we switch positions, but we're 1, 2, and 3.
Absolutely. And all our, seems like the Newsom care about the Bay Area and LA. And Bay Area, I understand they have industries, that Silicon Valleys, they have all those Googles, Microsoft, and so forth, all the laborers. But what about the farmers? Farmers, you cannot treat the same way as over there to compare to other farmers. Farmers are the unique, and there's 2 million people in the Central Valley.
And it's a completely renewable resource, as opposed to with the big tech companies. If some other area, let's say Austin, which has become a tech hub in Texas, if they came up with something that blew everybody away, which happens in tech, there might be no more jobs all of a sudden there in the Silicon Valley because it's shifted somewhere else.
Yeah.
With farming, it's perpetual. We just have to take care of it.
Absolutely.
And if that's eliminated, then what do we have left?
Yeah.
We have natural resources we're not willing to use. For instance, we won't farm timber. They're doing everything they can to limit the pumping of oil.
Yeah. And the high-speed rail. Look at the word disaster, all that. How much is we are over budget,
Just
Why?
because environmentalists.
Environmentalists.
So many other states have, surpassed this part, this area, and yet we've spent so much money. And
I think Newsom sees it as a monument to his greatness, and it will be known as California's Stonehenge. Don't know that there will ever be a train on those tracks, but I think it'll be California's Stonehenge.
Yeah, I own the engineering firms. We deal with environmentalists. They are so extremist now, and they wouldn't let you do anything.
Mhm.
And it's just like we can't even build anything without doing the stuff here in the valley. It's just so crazy. And look at the high speed rail. How much percentage is toward that?
Mhm.
Anything infrastructure. And where are we going? Why these environmental taking over the California? That's why I see Lacey as it.
Why are we letting it happen?
Why letting it happen that? Where's the people's wanted work hard, and but they're not letting to do anything on it.
No, and there's a misnomer that Republicans don't want clean water. You have kids. You're a Republican. Don't you want clean water?
Of course.
You want a clean environment. But you also want to have a business environment where we thrive.
100%.
Absolutely. And
we need to eat.
Yeah. And the eats and agriculture.
Every aspect we look at, even they're just controlling us left and right. They're not giving us any leeway. The government gives us no way to express ourselves, to make our own decisions. Look at the medical system. It's so controlled.
Mm-hmm.
You're not able to get many treatments. They have so many. Look how advanced Europe is.
Yeah.
Germany. I've gone through already 3 surgeries, cervical. And, they have put you in this loophole of getting cervical fusions, which every 2 years, 3 years, you need to get the next disc fused. You need to get the next disc. You're a recurring customer.
So wouldn't it make more sense to simply just take care of the problem?
Yes, they do a disc replacement, but there's only a handful of doctors that can do it that actually went out to Europe and got that experience and came back with it, but people don't have access to that. The insurance won't pay the price on them is very minimal. If we look at the total cash price, it's almost alike.
Mm-hmm.
But why is it not available? Why can't, with my insurance, why was I not able to get it in the first place? Why do we have to jump through hoops and find other ways? And, I suffered.
Absolutely. And I want to add to the Veterans Hospital. Look at it just alone in Fresno. That hospital was way back built. We need to have it better for the veterans. We need to have a better hospitals. We need to help them out. They've done so much for us. And look at these, I call them mafia, and this medical. And they call themselves as a non-profit, bunch of organizations. Oh, we don't charge for it, but when you see your bills, you can't afford this medical system.
Right.
And who created all that stuff?
They give you one pill.
Well, the government regulated it all rather than the free market.
Yes.
Their hands are so tied that the government makes most of the choices for them, which is, I think, a real problem. We're moving towards socialized medicine, and I think that people should have catastrophic insurance. and that it should take care of real things.
Absolutely.
But everybody else, I think you make your choices. You should have catastrophic. I have really great full coverage, but I pay through the nose for it and then don't use it.
Absolutely.
Well, we're going to go ahead and take our final break. This is Eric Rollins, the Constitutionalist, here on 1550 KXEX, the best talk in town. As everybody knows, in this last segment, I try to focus on hope and solutions. So anything that we can do that leaves people with in a place of hope and gives a solution towards this problem of, well, we've discussed multiple problems. We're not going to fix them all today, but can we move in the right direction?
So join us and we go to Sacramento.
We're going to go ahead and come back. This is Eric Rollins, the Constitutionalist, here on 1550 KXEX, the best talk in town. I am joined by Sidhu Kuwalt and Nick Sahota. They are representatives of the Sikh community. And Sidhu, you were just saying something about Sacramento?
Yes. We go out to protest for the water in Sacramento.
So you're part of that Madera Farm Water Coalition?
Yes.
Okay.
So we would love for everybody to, come join us on the next one.
When is the next one? Do you know?
It's going to be in March sometime. I'm not sure the date.
So we make a lot of arrangements, even bus transportation, for people that can't go.
Well, when we get closer, I'll either have you guys on, or I'll maybe have Mark Takata on.
Yeah,
because I know he's instrumental in leading that also.
Yes. Last one, I was very impressed. It was very diverse. We're very happy that a lot of communities came together.
Cool.
So we need to go bigger and harder this time, and let's get let's get this voice across. And we're gonna work harder on our end. We're gonna bring more of the Sikh community out.
Well, that's a cool thing. Look, I believe that Sacramento, because it's one party rule, does not listen at all. The only way they're going to begin to listen is if there are so many people that they go, oh my God. Because anything short of that, and they're married to their woke leftist agenda.
Yeah.
So there's a positive. Any other positives? What can we do?
Well, we need to think about it in a couple years, elections, and we need to choose those people that are political. We need to be changed into the governments. We need to be awareness that, hey, these are the things that our community needs, and we need to choose those candidates that would helps our businesses, our peoples, and that's what I think is we need to awareness especially in our community, that who should they vote for and who are they working for them, and that's what we need to look into it, and we need to see what system that we need to make changes on it.
And everyone's seen our conservative views are very alike.
Mm-hmm.
So in the future, if we have a Sikh candidate running locally, we need the support.
Absolutely.
And talk to the person. Check them out. Make sure that person's views are aligning.
And we need to do that starting now for 2024.
Yeah,
I know it seems like it's early.
No.
But the primaries are when you decide who then gets to go into the general.
100%.
Now's the time when, if you're thinking about running for something in 2024, you need to be talking to people. So if I have any of my listeners that are thinking about running for something, whether it's school board or something bigger, you need to get out there now. We need to pick the right candidates.
100%.
And I don't care what their ethnicity is.
100%.
Yeah.
And we're out there. We're ready to help, even our community, any community, the right candidate. We're there to help them out. Or, we help them out financially through the community. We help them out putting in legwork, going out, taking them to the temples, introducing them to people. We as much as we can to bring that awareness.
Well, I know you helped on a campaign with Elizabeth Hang. So Elizabeth is
Michael Mars.
You also help with Michael Marr? Okay.
Yeah.
I know Michael quite well.
Yes. Is very, very, very smart, intelligent.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Genius.
He reminds me of Victor Davis Hanson.
Yes. So I'm excited. So I know on the next election, he's gonna.
Yeah, he's not out. He said, "I'm thinking about what I'm doing next.
Yep.
Don't throw away your signs." So
100%.
there's a huge hope.
100%.
Yeah. And we helped the David Valladeos. We've been helping them a lot. And we went to the door in Bakersfield. and our communities, not on financial, well as we help them out. So we need the good people.
Buddy
We need the
Mendez
people.
as well.
Yeah, Buddy
Everybody,
Mendez.
every time we, as much as we can, how many ever people we have, we always join everybody together.
Do you have a particular organization that like meets?
No, we are starting one. However,
You're starting one. Do you have a name or?
Six for Republicans.
Cool.
Yes.
So yeah,
Well, when that officially launches, let me know.
100%, and we hope to have everybody at least come and join us, support us, and show your support. So even our community can kind of wake up when they're there and see how influential, and we would like to have you guys come and speak from your perspective so they can understand as well how alike we are.
Let me know. I'm not a great public speaker. I'm okay at an interview. I'm not a great public speaker, but I'm willing to jump in.
and
I can
else.
find other people.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, we that's the most important thing, and it involves in a smaller levels and the city levels and the counties levels, and all these things will make a difference on it. We rather complaining at home, we need to get out there. We need to vote for the right people, and we need to be help them out financially and get this better back on California.
Make a change. I'm born here. We have businesses here. He has, businesses here. We don't want to leave here. We don't want to move here and go to Texas and somewhere else.
Yeah.
We love it here.
Same here.
Beautiful state.
So,
California's worth fighting for.
yes. Yeah,
And
we
we're
don't-
warriors, so we're gonna continue fighting.
Absolutely. We don't want to talk negative, but peoples are moving out. My 3 friends moved out here to Idaho and to Indiana and to Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, both of you have a unique perspective because in Sidhu, in your case, your parents moved here, so you heard about how it was different to move here. So, and Nick, you came from northern India. How has that shaped your appreciation for freedom? We got about a minute and a half or minute and 20 seconds each.
Absolutely. Well, I go jump in, and when I was 13 years old, came here. It was I meet with our communities and all the times, and America is the greatest opportunities for everybody. And here we could do anything on it. You have rights to be, if you want to get the education, you can. You have fairness system. You have opportunities to do anything, and this is the system is it's totally different than India, and we do not have to get there. You want to become a medical doctor, you have to be spent multi-million dollars in India, and these are kind of opportunities we have in the United States. The fairness, and we could do, get the educations and sports and you name it, and we have lots of opportunity here. This is different, and I see it. People's coming here because their system is corrupted, and I don't have to shame on it. And America's system is great, and we need to be continues working as a great. And we have problems back in Punjab, and we fighting for their making the system better, but it's not happening, and we're not getting the treat, from the government.
So that makes you appreciative of all the opportunities. What about?
So to answer your question real quick is, my parents being there, me being born and raised here, I'm an American, so I see all the advantages that yes, my parents got, Nick received coming here and everything. Yet we still lack certain things.
Well, it's an imperfect country.
So those are the things that we still like, our freedom from the state, how we're not able to fight for our water, how we're not able to fight for the right to bear arms, how we're not able to fight for what's being taught in the public education system, how we're just being shut down from all those things. Those are the things that have been really bothering me,
Those are all things that are about big government.
which is one thing I've noticed is a kind of similarity to other countries that are straight controlling their people. other than that, the advantages you do have that you're able to succeed really quickly. You know, you have your options. You have a lot of freedoms, but certain freedoms are still yet to be fought for.
Oh, absolutely. I think our big, we're going to go ahead and we're going to call it, and I'll give you both a minute just afterwards. This is Eric Rollins, the Constitutionalist, here on 1550 KXEX, the best talk in town. I truly believe that coming from another country, or having your parents come from another country, creates an appreciation. But it's interesting that what you came down to, Sidhu, is that big government and totalitarianism is what you see as the big threat, rather than choices. Final thoughts from either one of you gentlemen?
Well, thanks for having us here, and thanks for giving us opportunity to share our values on your radio show, and we really appreciate it. And thanks. And we working for the community. We are same as Americans' values, and we're looking forward to be helping any way we need to be have right people to be elected to the government.
Absolutely.
And same, you know, in any way we can help our community. This is, you know, all of our community. You know.
So rather than tribalism, we're something larger and better than that?
Yes. So, and, you know, in any way that we can join our community together, stronger, it's, you know, we would love to do that. And I hope when we start this new group and you guys come and show your support, so, you know, we can wake up more people and show them,
Cool.
You know, before it's too late.
Yep. Totalitarianism is growing, and the progressives are embracing the idea that they can control all your decisions. And we lose something unique and special if we allow that to happen.
That's what, you know, everybody's fought for all these years here in this country, and why are we letting those things go now?
Well, we absolutely shouldn't, and that's why I joined the fight, and I'm happy to know that you're standing in the same fight with me.
Thank you for having this radio show to show this to everybody.
Well, I thank you, gentlemen. I think
so
that's a wrap.